What's going on, U.S. history people? We got video number 17 for you today. Very important topic on abolitionism, or trying to get rid of slavery. So early abolitionism was mostly limited to a small portion of the population throughout most of early American history. In the 18th century, that's your 1700s, pretty much the only abolitionists were free blacks, slaves, and Quakers, most notably found in Pennsylvania. So let's talk about Nat Turner. He led one of the largest slave revolts in history in 1831. And as with virtually all slave rebellions, slave codes became much more strict afterwards. He was not successful in his rebellion. He eventually was caught after a couple months and was executed along with many other people involved in the rebellion. And just remember, every time there's a slave rebellion, there will be more harsh slave codes or laws that will be instituted afterwards. Okay, William Lloyd Garrison, pictured here, was creator of the newspaper The Liberator, which was a weekly newspaper that ran from 1831 to 1865. He criticized the Constitution because it was complicit with slavery, or it allowed it. Frederick Douglass, perhaps the most famous abolitionist of all, was a former slave from Maryland. He was an incredible orator or speaker, supporter of women's rights, and a staunch abolitionist. He had a newspaper called the North Star, and he gave a very famous 4th of July speech. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? Jumping over to John Brown. He becomes famous or infamous at the Pottawatomie Creek Massacre in 1856 in Kansas, and later at a raid at Harper's Ferry in 1859. And we'll talk more about these in detail in video number 19. But he hoped to inspire a massive slave rebellion, was unsuccessful. Brown and his followers were caught, and they were eventually executed or killed in the fighting. And this will increase tensions between the North and the South and will be a major cause of the Civil War. Harriet Beecher Stowe was a notable abolitionist. She was the author of the famous book Uncle Tom's Cabin, which caused many people to be abolitionists after they realized the horrible treatment of slaves. This was a best-selling book about slavery, and increased involvement in the abolitionist movement throughout the North was a result of the publication of this book. The Underground Railroad was a way for some slaves to escape to freedom up north and into Canada. This was an organization that helped slaves escape. Pictured here is one of the most famous conductors, or people who helped slaves escape, Harriet Tubman. And conductors were people that helped lead slaves to safe houses. Harriet Tubman herself helped over 70 slaves escape. And although the number of slaves that escaped was small each year on the Underground Railroad, it was a powerful symbol that was loathed by the South. All right, let's do a quick recap. Abolitionist methods. Know that some use moral arguments against slavery, such as William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. Some use violence, such as Nat Turner and John Brown. And some helped in assisting slaves' escapes, and that would be the Underground Railroad and Harriet Tubman. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Look forward to see you back for the next video. Best of luck this year, and have a good day.